The illegal elbow.
Elbow techniques.
This is the elbow.
An elbow from here. I'll throw the elbow.
Yeah, the illegal elbows.
All right, people, we're back, man. Illegal Elbow Radio. Another exciting episode for you guys, man. This is Brian from Illegal Elbow Radio, Illegal Elbow on Twitter.
And this is Dan from MMA Aftermath on Facebook and Twitter.
And to kick it off, man, we're going to jump into the UFC Fight Night 47 fight card. We're going to run over a few fights over that, but before we get to that, I want to let you guys know...
I never got the email! I never got the fucking email!
Just like normal, just like always, and I want to say thanks to people that have been sending us emails, suggestions and whatnot. I want to encourage everybody else to do the same. Any suggestions you guys think we should talk about a certain thing or whatever, something we shouldn't talk about or something we should stop talking about, whatever your suggestion might be. It's illegaelbowradio@gmail.com.
It's a fucking email!
Yeah. send us some email, man, and let us know what you think.
I never got the email! I never got the fucking email!
So there you go. And over the weekend, man, I ate at BD's Mongolian Barbecue. Holy shit. That is still, in my opinion, the best place to eat. This guy here loves it too, I mean, it's not really Chinese, but, it was more like Mongolian, whatever you want to call it, but...
A succulent Chinese meal.
Succulent Chinese meal.
But, Ryan Bader coming in. Let's go ahead and kick it off with Ryan Bader. I don't know what team he's with, but...
Team? What team?
Let's kick it off with your thoughts on how Bader's done recently with, wins over like Teixeira and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And Bader St.Preux coming in here with, I mean, really just looking,
top notch.
Top notch compared to what he looked like, his debut looked great, his next fight looked great. When he was in Strikeforce, it was like night and day from when he got into UFC, and I think that's really... As soon as he got into the UFC, he's like, okay, I got to take this as serious as possible now. It just seems to me like the guy really has risen to the occasion. And Ryan Bader, in my opinion, I can go ahead and say that he could be in big fucking trouble come August 16th. So,
yeah, and you know what? Bader has gone back to what Bader is good at. Okay? That's his fucking wrestling, dude. All right? He gets you down, controls your ass. You're not doing nothing. Perosh did nothing. Cavalcante got fucking smothered. Fucking Ryan Bader is a fucking superior fucking wrestler. Look at his body. Look at the way it's fucking shaped. It's the shape of a wrestler, dude. Great fucking hips. He'll fucking put his body all over you, tire you out because you're trying to get the fuck up the whole fight. But he's going against the guy in OSP who's a physical specimen, dude. He's a freak. Great power, man. Like you said, he's getting fucking better. He's beat the likes of a Valente, a Cody Donovan, a Nikita Krylov, and a Ryan Jimmo.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's not, and the last three are not decisions like Bader's last two. Okay, he's finishing.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah. Submission, technical submission, knockout. Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Bader, you're fighting. Bader's had a great career, but he's coming against a buzzsaw right now. And OSP is coming up in the ranks, and I think he's kind of like reinventing himself or just getting smart to the game, man. He's getting smart to the game. His last loss was against the likes of Gegard Mousasi. Okay?
Right.
Gegard Mousasi.
Not even
and
3
that
years
was
ago.
a fucking and that was a unanimous decision, but he went the distance with a Gegard Mousasi. And then after that, it's a fucking against Cook, a TKO, a majority decision, first round TKO, a first round submission, a first round knockout, and now Ryan Bader. What's going to go on, Bader? What are you going to do? This guy is, like I said, a buzzsaw. You better watch out because I don't think you're going to be laying and fucking pointing on this guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think if Ryan Bader gets him down, he's going to be in top. He's going to be in top form, top position, I should say. And I don't think there's a whole lot St. Preux can really do with a Bader on top. But except for his striking defense. I think he'll fare pretty well when it comes to that. But it's not going to be in the very beginning of the round, in my opinion. If he takes Alvey and St.Preux down, it's going to be later in the round when, when he's got a little bit, when he's got some work to do or some.
If OSP's got any escapes too,
Yeah, which I wouldn't be surprised to see it because out of nowhere the guy's got submissions now. The guy's got, he's got Kimura under his belt. He's got a shoulder. It says shoulder choke. I think that's in-arm choke maybe, but the guy's got submissions in his game now. Not like he's they've been null and void before, but now they're prominent and they look good. You know what I mean? And when you talk about a Ryan Jimmo and Nikita Krylov, Cody Donovan, Gian Valente, they're all good dudes and they're all notable wins. They're not top of the food chain, but a Ryan Jimmo I think is, he's kind of in the realm of a Ryan Bader, maybe not. You know what I mean? I guess it depends how you look at it. I'd like to see a fight with Ryan Jimmo and Ryan Bader. I think it'd be kind of interesting, man. If Ryan Bader loses this fight, I'd like to see him and Ryan Jimmo go at it because Jimmo's got a sweet ass karate technique, and how would he fare against somebody that wants to take him down? He might be able to land some knees, land some head kicks. Who knows? But that's off topic. But I think Alvey St.Preux, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Alvey St.Preux, but Ryan Bader, I think, is a worthy opponent to prove us wrong and to prove that Alvey St.Preux still might have some holes in his game that we might not be seeing. So I got to give a little bit of respect and some props to Ryan Bader because
he's a crafty vet, man. You cannot fucking look past Ryan Bader.
And he's got some great strength in his upper body, and he lands some nasty strikes when he's able to. And when he's able to put them on, it's hard to get out of the way of the fuckers.
And when this comes along, fights like this come along, and we've been talking about it with the DC and the Bones Jones. We could say a stalemate. We could say a cancellation of the ground game. We could see the wall game. And we've been seeing it so much recently. We've been seeing it with guys taking advantage of putting other guys down against the wall with liver shots and shit like that. The wall game is something that fighters are really taking serious and really putting some practice in, on fighting against the wall. Defense and offense. It's a whole nother fucking game, man, right now. It's a whole nother fucking aspect of MMA. And I've just been seeing a lot of it lately. So there might be a cancellation. There might be some wall action here. So we'll have to see. But it's a fucking badass fucking fight coming up here. And I'm fucking hyped about it.
There's one other fight that's not on the top of my radar when it comes to a UFC card. But I want to go ahead and bring this out just because I've always liked this dude. He's got a good record. It's not an amazing record when it comes to people he's faced, but he's faced some good fighters in there, and he's looked. I think he's looked really, really good. I think a lot of guys do know about it, and I'm talking about Sam Alvey. Sam Alvey's making his a return. Basically, he was in the Tough Show, and then he went and he fought a bunch of shows, MFC for the most part. NAFC was his most recent win, but he's on a 4-fight win streak. He beat Elvis. I always fuck this guy's name up, man. Mutapchik. I always fuck that dude's name up, but he's a well-known dude. He's been in the game a long time, But Sam Alvey, I want to welcome this dude back to the UFC. A record of 23-5, taking on Tom Watson, man. With Tom Watson is no joke either. Tom Watson is a dude to watch, but he's coming off I think a two or three fight losing streak in the UFC. Yeah, two. He's 1-3 in his last 4. Let's put it that way. Stanislav Netkov, he beat, lost to Brad Tavares, lost to Talis Latis, August last year, about a year ago. Lost to Nick Catone February of this year. So Tom Watson's seen a rough road, but it's a good fight for Sam Alvey to come back to. It could be a tough fight for Tom Watson. So it's kind of, sit back and see what the hell happens here, because Tom Watson needs a win. Sam Alvey is making his debut, so I'm really excited to see what Sam Alvey's bringing, because I like this dude, whether he's made some major improvements. I haven't been able to see a lot of his fights because I'm not on the networks, that he's fighting on, to where I could see him, so much less in the area where he's fighting. So I'm just excited to see that. So let's keep going through the card here. I don't know if I cut you off with the Bader.
No, we're gonna fucking digress or progress from where you're at in the prelims and go up a little bit. And it's a crossroad. It's a career defining matchup for one. Tim Bosch coming against Tavares.
This should be good, man. This should be really good.
And Tavares, I can't blame the guy for losing against fucking, Yoel Romero, dude. Yoel Romero is a fucking freak of nature right now, okay? A lot of guys are going to have...
loss, too.
Yeah, and a lot of guys are going to have fucking problems with this guy. And he, from the word go, he had trouble. He really was not in the fight at all, from what I seen, so...
Yoel Romero's a fucking monster.
Yes, and we've talked about it before, and we're going to be putting him. I am personally going to be putting him in the next level episode that we do. He's going to be one of those fighters in there, along with Rory McDonald. So, but
yeah, I like
Bosch needs to fucking come out and knock fucking Tavares out, dude. Which I think it's going to be pretty hard for him to do that, because Brad Tavares is going to be looking for that, dude. He's going to be looking for the power of Bosch, and he's going to be staying away from it. And it's going to come into a fucking a wrestling kind of dealio, dude.
Bosch is a late starter, though.
Yeah.
We've seen that. His last most giant, impressive win that we've seen was Yushin Okami. We're talking
fucking heavy-handed uppercuts.
Right, 2.5 years ago. You know what I mean? And since then, he's been 2-3. So it's
Brian and I were jumping out of the seats on that one too. We were like, "Oh shit!" Because it, like Brian's saying, it was a late start. We were like, "Dude, where's Bosch at? Where's Bosch at?" Dude, when he pinned his head against the fucking cage and started the uppercuts, dude, we were like, "Oh!" Our jaws dropped. We were out of our seats, fucking yelling.
Yeah, I was just like, what's happening here? Where's Tim Bosch at? Tim Bosch is known for going for it, and sure enough, man, third round came out, and his trainers were like, "Look, dude, you need to do it now. You need to do it right now," and he did it, and it was like, dude, this is awesome.
Yep.
He needs to bring that intensity in the first round. You know what I mean? At least for a good minute and a half. And if the guy's not going out, then hang back a little bit. Try to
conserve.
Conserve, do some point fighting, maybe try a takedown, something different. Don't be a raged ape right out the gate, and hold it through all 3 rounds, because you're gonna be dead by the middle of the second.
Well, look what Yoel did against Tavares. He kept him thinking, man.
Yoel Romero is, like you just talked about, man.
Yeah,
second,
he's on a different level, but still, he
next level.
Maybe just to try to keep him thinking and moving or something, start using some jab or something. I don't know, man. Fucking who knows? But I think it's gonna become maybe a ground game, because I don't think Tavares wants anything to do with fucking Bosch's fucking power. So he might try to get in close and either take him down or put him against the wall. Keep him close, I guess.
Well, I mean, when it comes to a Tim Bosch, you got 7 KOs, 5 submissions, 5 decisions. So he's pretty well
versed.
Yeah, he's pretty well versed across the board. He's been knocked out twice, been submitted twice, been lost by decision 3 times. So I mean, when we look at a Brad Tavares, just to break it down real quick, on the other side here, Brad Tavares 12-2. 4 knockouts, 2 submissions, 6 decisions.
And that's what I was saying. He likes to keep it close, and that's why I said that.
Yeah.
Just because of his style of maybe
Yeah, point fight.
Point fighting and not letting Bosch get that separation and that power shot. So,
and a good thing for Tavares, too, man, is he's got youth, man. The guy's only 26 years old, dude. He's never been knocked out, never been submitted, and he's only lost 2 decisions.
And he was not able to get that kind of a clinch or a close fight with Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero was not having it, dude.
Yeah. And Yoel Romero is like we've talked about, that one guy that fought Gegard Mousasi, Ilir Latifi. He's just a fucking beast when it comes to strength. You know, he couldn't do anything with it when it came to Gegard Mousasi, but I mean, Yoel Romero,
like a rhinoceros.
He really is, man. I mean, so is Yoel Romero. Well, Yoel Romero might be a different animal, but
yeah, doing backflips or fucking cartwheels and fucking dude, shit that you're like. Yeah, he didn't land it, but it's exciting because this guy has the capability to land it, and it's going to be a highlight reel shot.
It's going to keep somebody at bay, too, and keep somebody guessing, you know what I mean, for sure. And Yoel Romero is somebody to watch, man. Yeah. And like you said, man, we're going to have that on our next level show, which should be coming up soon. We're still putting it together, people. So we've talked about it a lot, but just hang with us, man.
It's something that needs to be put together carefully and not just fucking put out there. It's going to be its own show.
Yeah, its own entity, man, because these are guys that are really proving that they're above and beyond a lot of these other guys that are, 13s, 9 through 13. These guys are really, beating those 9 through 13, 14 type dudes. And they're just proving that they're the next level, and they're just rolling through those guys. So, but anyhow, man, anything you want to add to the Tavares-Bosch contest? Otherwise, we can...
No, I think we fucking nailed it down. And,
I'm going to go ahead and say Tavares has got a pretty damn good shot. I'm almost weighing in the area of a Tavares. If Bosch decides to bring it, you know what I mean? Wait it out a bit, conserve energy, and maybe bring it late second, early third, and start landing some bombs. He's got a great shot, but I think Tavares has got a really good chance of... I'm going to say decision, man. He's going to decision Tim Bosch. Because Tavares looks great, in my opinion. I mean, I think he looks really good, 12-2. It's nothing to be upset about, man. It's a great record at this point. But, Tim Bosch is no... I'm sorry, man. I'm cutting you off. But
no, fuck no, man. You're hitting on every fucking point. Tim Bosch is nobody to look past.
Yeah, Tim Bosch is nobody to look past, but... Tim Bosch being 33, I don't know if he's really looking good right now or he's starting to ramp down because, like I said, he's 2-3 in his last 5. So I don't know if he's starting to have some troubles here or, because 33 is not too old. But, Brad Tavares being 26, if you want to look at the age factor, Brad Tavares has nothing to worry about when it comes to wear and tear. You know what I mean? Tim Bosch kind of does. So it's got to be looked at a little bit, you know what I mean? So, just throwing that out there, I guess. But, what? Before we jump back to it, man, let's take a quick break before...
we're going to be coming back with Gray Maynard versus Ross Pearson.
That's sick,
dude. This is almost like, dude, if you asked me what should be the main event, this should be the main event. That's me personally.
It's going to be a fucking barn burner.
Gives a fuck what you think.
Just coming back to this, man, I want to give a little bit of props to Zach Makovsky, ex-Bellator fighter, man, in the UFC right now. Very impressive dude, man. Always very fun to watch in Bellator. Taking out Juicier Da Silva. He's got a little... the experience is very close, so I can't pick sides on that. But, I mean, Silva's no joke either. So, I mean, it should be actually a very good fight. Sean Jordan, before we get to Ross Pearson versus Gray Maynard, I want to throw a couple opinions at Sean Jordan versus Jack May. Jack May coming in here in UFC. This is his second fight in UFC, I do believe. We're going to find out for sure here. It is his second fight in UFC. He lost to Derek Lewis, which we've talked about Derek Lewis a little bit. We're excited to see what this guy brings because right now he's 2-0 in UFC. He's got 2 knockouts. So we're excited about Derek Lewis. But Jack May's coming off a knockout loss to a Derek Lewis. He's taking out Sean Jordan. Sean Jordan, in my opinion, I don't know a shit ton about Jack May, so I can't go ahead and throw out all these opinions about it. But he does have a good record. He's 7-1. He didn't lose until he got to UFC. So he's been Bama. He's Bama a few times. You know what I mean? We don't know their whole gamma. When it comes to Bama. So anyway, but Sean Jordan, I know. But Sean Jordan, I know, has very heavy hands. But he's been known to get dropped. Taking a look at. Kick it over here, baby, pop, and let all the fly skim is. No, sorry. That's we're taking it back to the '80s there. Sorry, people, but 11 KOs out of 15 wins, 3 submissions and 1 decision. This guy's decision one time, man. This guy is full of finishes. This guy's got 14 finishes out of 15 wins. I didn't realize. I never knew this, dude. I never took the time to take a close look at it. But I knew this guy was good. I didn't know he was such a fucking finisher, though. Good gravy. This guy's gone the distance once, man. He's been knocked out 4 times out of his 6, and he's been decision twice. So that's a bit of an alarm right there. Yeah, the guy's been knocked out. So.
Which means you're going to get an exciting fight.
Yes. Yes.
Fucking fences.
This guy will throw bows. Let's take a look at the other side, man. We'll make this quick because I don't want to focus all the attention on this fight. Although I am excited about heavyweights. I love heavyweight fights. A lot of people do. So, and that's kind of one of our specialties, I guess. But Jack the Outlaw May coming in. Not a very well-known dude when it comes to UFC. His first fight in, he gets knocked out. So here he is, 7-1. Like I said, he didn't lose till he got to UFC. So that's no reason for cutting the guy. He fought some tough competition. 6 KOs out of his 7 wins and 1 decision. So that's impressive already. He's been knocked out once. He's never been submitted, never been decisioned. Out of his 8 fights, there's a lot more to be said there. He's got still some proving to do. But he's obviously got knockout power. So 86% of his fights are knockout wins. So I mean. It's a cool fight. I like it because Sean Jordan, I believe, is coming off a loss. Let me take another look at this. Yeah, he lost to Matt Mitrione. Matt Mitrione knocked him out. Before that, Gabriel Gonzaga knocked him out. So he's coming off 2 back-to-back losses, and they're throwing him a guy that's barely, not even 2 fights in yet to UFC. So this should be jackhammers flying everywhere because Sean Jordan's going to want to prove what he's made of, and Jack May has got to get a win in order to stick around because with a small record like his and already losing once in UFC, it could be 2 and done. It could possibly be 2 and done.
Yep.
But
yep.
If you got something to say on this, man, if not, brother, kick us off on the topic of choice.
Fucking Ross Pearson coming in here against Gray Maynard. Controversial loss for Ross Pearson against Diego Sanchez. And in my opinion, Ross Pearson fucking won that fight. So
he won that fight hands down, in my opinion.
What happened in Melvin Gillard? Was it the eye poke? Could not continue?
Take a look. I believe so, man. I think you're right about that.
Yep.
No, they right here, which we got different no contest knee to the head of a grounded opponent.
Oh, okay.
Melvin Gillard need him while he was down. Need him in the head while he was down.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you can't fucking do that unless you're a 1FC motherfucker.
Yep. And then before that, we were all questioning. It was like, what the fuck is Ryan Couture doing in the UFC right now? Because it was like awkward. We were like, dude, Ryan Couture, what are you doing? You're like a guy that just walked out of the bar and got his ass beat by a bouncer.
It looked like he really wasn't ready, man. It really does to me. He looked good in Strikeforce. When he got to UFC, it was too big for him. It looked to me like his submission game was pretty good when it came to, I don't think his striking game has ever really been top notch. I don't think he's ever had really much of a striking game. He's a lot smaller than his dad has ever been. You know what I mean? He's always been a smaller dude. It's just his makeup. And he's never had striking in his
lankier too,
Yeah. I mean, his submissions are still great, man. I gotta give the guy a little bit of props with his submissions, but
If Ross Pearson wasn't about submissions and fucking around with you on the ground and shit, he was just there to fucking knock your block off, and that's what he did.
But back to the case at point here. Gray Maynard, just to get a quick opinion on Gray Maynard here, man. I think
Gray Maynard just fucking has some tough competition, dude.
he really has, dude. He's got, in his last 5, he's got Frankie Edgar twice, Clay Guida once, TJ Grant, which TJ Grant we talked about earlier, man. He was in line for a title shot, which due to concussion problems he had to call out. You know what I mean? He had to get out of there. So
Gray Maynard's chin is on notice right now, so
it really is, and Ross might be able to check it a few times. But Gray Maynard's got some good striking power too, because he fucked Frankie Edgar up for an entire first round in their fight. I believe it was their first fight. No, it might have been the second one where he just beat him up the first round. Frankie Edgar came back and knocked him out.
Mm-hmm.
Which I believe,
Frankie Edgar, the fucking epitome of fucking comeback heart fucking warriors, you know.
Yeah. And I hope that doesn't wear too hard on him, man, because he needs to not do that. You know what I mean? To have a long, illustrious career, man, he needs to not do that so much. A little more defense in action here, more head movement. You know, I mean, I don't know. Just from my point of view, man, I'm no pro, but
I can honestly see Gray Maynard getting knocked the fuck out in like the second round in this one.
I think, you know, when we look at experience aspect, Gray Maynard's, which I believe he is from MSU. I think it's either MSU or it's one of the Michigan colleges. I believe he has come from. I believe. I could be wrong, but 11-3-1. You can't. You know, I can't fault the guy anywhere. You know, I mean, he's done great.
And if he does fucking win this one, that's what it'll be by wrestling.
It'll cement him as a solid gamer, man, in my opinion. But I agree, though. I think Ross Pearson is a tough dude, tough as nails. Got a great chin. I would say Ross Pearson has a much better chin than a Gray Maynard. So if they go strike for strike, I think it's totally in favor of Ross Pearson. Ross Pearson's been he's been out of the limelight for far too long. This guy there needs to be more attention on Ross Pearson, is what I'm trying to say. People need to be talking about him more when it comes to the media. You know what I mean? Ross Pearson's a tough dude, man, and I pick him for this win. Gray Maynard is a good guy to prove me wrong, but I call it for Ross Pearson, man, all across the board.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go the same thing. I wholeheartedly agree. I'm going to go fucking TKO, fucking knockout, whatever, in the fucking second. Sorry, Gray Maynard. It might be downhill time on this career.
When it comes to losses, Ross has been knocked out twice. Gray has been knocked out. Gray's been knocked out 3 times, so it's not as bad as what we're thinking. But I don't know if it's just a case of it being more fresh in my mind. But the last knockout I've seen, Gray Maynard got knocked out. It was pretty brutal. It was, like I said, I don't know if it's just being fresh in my mind, but it was pretty damn brutal, and he was every bit out of it. But like I said, you know, we both pick Ross Pearson for the win, and I'd love to see him get it, because if anybody's going to get a good chance to move ahead and really get, you know, and Ross Pearson proves it right here, that he's very well versed. 5 knockouts, 5 submissions, 5 decisions. Right now, Gray Maynard is still in that top position because of the competition that he's taken on, but Ross Pearson. I almost said Ross Perot.
Ross Perot's going to get in there with his cane and whip smash.
Yeah. Now you see, when a problem comes along, people, you should whip it. No, just kidding. But Ross Pearson, I think, is one of them guys that could come in and just completely steal some thunder.
Fucking have Gray Maynard fucking wondering where his career's at right now, you know. So
very well could be, man.
But that being said, man, steadfast.
God beer.
Oh.